Thomas, welcome back to the video blog.
Good to be back, Zach.
The last time you and I did this, we were in Frankfurt in a Volkswagen Golf SportWagen. Do you remember that?
I do indeed, and now we're just outside of Seattle in a Volkswagen Golf SportWagen.
Now, the reason you had the event here in Washington State is to announce the fact that the car that I had a chance to drive a year ago is now officially in the market. It's called the Alltrack. So explain the Alltrack lineup in Canada, because it is different than the U.S.
It absolutely is, Zach. The SportWagen Alltrack is something that's brand new for 2017, and what it's based upon is the introduction, the arrival, if you will, of Volkswagen's 4Motion all-wheel drive into the SportWagen lineup. In the last 10 years, the proportion of Canadians that have been purchasing trucks, when I say trucks, I mean pickup trucks, sport utilities and such, has just gone through the roof. It went from about 45% now to almost 65% of the market. And Volkswagen, obviously we want to be a player in that market as well. So we've had a lot of customers, a lot of dealers asking us to add all-wheel drive to the SportWagen, and here it is. So what we've done is we've brought this technology down to all of the sport wagons, leading up to and culminating in the Alltrack. The Alltrack is the top trim level. It has got essentially everything. Take a sport wagon, load it up with everything you can, all the technology, all the luxury, the leather, the sunroof, the top-of-the-line equipment, and add all-wheel drive, and you get the basis for the Alltrack. But it's not just that. We had a driving mode selector, which allows you to play between off-road and on-road selectivity. We've already raised the suspension of this car by 15 millimeters compared to the regular sport wagon with all-wheel drive. And to that, we've had a lot of nice other things. 18-inch Canyon alloy wheels. Canyon's the name we give to it. It's pretty unique, pretty interesting. New front fascia, new rear fascia, special fog lights. We've got silver painted rear view mirrors, silver roof rails. All in all, it gives the car the look of a small sport utility with all of the utility that you're used to getting in a sport wagon. The package is great. $35,295 is the starting price. We've got a couple of options on it. We think we're going to do pretty well.
All right. Now, others have been at this game a while, right? Like Subaru, I call it outbacking, and it's unfortunate because you say the name, but that's what they did. They took the legacy wagon and they did this, what you're doing, but they did it 20-something years ago, and they were well ahead of the curve. I guess the original was the AMC. What was the name of that one?
It was the Eagle.
The Eagle, yeah.
Oh, yes.
They did that, so this is where the market's going. So it could be to a point where the regular sport wagon might one day disappear and everything looks like a crossover.
That's quite possible. And again, only time will tell on something like that. We firmly believe that there is a place in the Canadian market for a compact wagon, because
nobody else has one, really.
Nobody else does. And even the Subaru product, fantastic though it is, it's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
It's a little bit bigger, and not everybody wants the biggest bat in the lineup. So with the sport wagon, you've got a little bit more compact footprint, a little bit, more nimble, a little bit easier to park, a little bit easier to get into and out of. And if you're an outdoorsy kind of person, the nice thing is it's really got a nice roof height. So if you're loading things on the roof, say bikes, kayaks, a cargo box and such, it's got a little bit easier lift in height. Mm-hmm. So we think we've hit a nice little niche in the marketplace. Yes, it took an awfully long time to get there, but when you show up at a party late, you better have your best suit on, and we think we put our best suit on with this car.
Now, a big part of it was that you needed to have the manufacturing facility with the capability to do all-wheel drive. So that was you couldn't put the cart before the horse, because if you were going to make these cars in another part of the world and bring them to North America, especially with duty in Canada, it would be expensive. So the factory in Mexico, part of the NAFTA agreement, has now been equipped to build cars with all-wheel drive.
Yes, and the plans went in place already a couple of years ago. When we moved production of our Golf hatchback down to Puebla 2 years ago, we built an entirely new section of the factory to accommodate what we call the MQB platform. That's our latest platform that underpins all the Golfs, the Golf, the GTI, Golf R, and the Golf SportWagen.
And the new Tiguan that's coming.
And the new Tiguan that'll be coming next year. So this platform needed a special line. And along at the same time as we were doing this, we had to make some modifications to allow that line to produce all-wheel drive cars. Because building cars at a factory is a very complex process. You can't just say, all right, well, let's just change the entire driveline, because the robots, the workers, etc., they have to be set up to accommodate this. And it took until this year to get the factory ready to build that all-wheel drive. And like you say, it's going to be ready for that for the Tiguan next year. We're building another line for that. But now that we have the availability to do so in Puebla, we've dropped it into this car, and we think we've got an opportunity to expand the lineup, if you will.
Now, there are some people, whenever I put something on online, you get comments, people saying, oh, it's made in Mexico, I don't want it. I want the Golf R, it's made in Germany, right? And what do you say to that?
Well, what I can say is this. When we initially moved production of the Golf and GTI to Puebla, we went to our harshest critics first. We went to our own dealers, and we brought a GTI from Germany, and we brought a GTI from Mexico. We had a dealer meeting, not for the sole purpose of this, but we showed them the two cars, and we didn't say a thing to them. We let them climb in and out of these cars, drive them, etc., etc. Then we asked them, okay, which one was built in Germany? Which one was built in Mexico? And wouldn't you know it, the guesses, and they were guesses, were 50-50. Nobody could tell the difference.
Well, that's a brand new car. People are saying, well, 5, 8, 10 years from now, will there be differences?
Oh, absolutely not. And I can testify to that, because what we're seeing is a reduction in our warranty costs. And that's how a manufacturer measures the overall quality of their cars. Because for that warranty period, which is 4 years, 80,000 kilometers.
Which that's one thing that we want to point out, because it's different than the U.S. The U.S. follows the sort of mainline cars at a 3-year warranty. Volkswagen has got why has Volkswagen got a 4-year warranty, which is what you typically get with a premium car, a BMW, an Audi, a Mercedes. They offer 4-year. Why VW do 4?
Well, when people come to Volkswagen to shop, Zach, they expect a premium German product. Yes, our cars are priced a little bit lower than our friends at BMW and Mercedes and such, but people's expectation is still a little bit higher than, people shopping for your average domestic. So we feel it behooves us to offer a statement to those customers that we believe in our product. And by having a 4-year, 80,000 kilometer warranty, 5 years, 100,000 kilometers on powertrain, we're making that statement, a bold statement that we believe in the product. And as I was getting to, what we've seen since the introduction of these new cars out of Puebla is a reduction in our warranty cost index. That means we're paying out less to fix these cars. And there's no clear sign that the cars are built extremely well. We're fantastic. Like we're so happy with the quality.
And the thing is that people just think this is a sort of Johnny-come-lately plant. But this is, I think, the oldest import NAFTA factory. Is that right? Like years and years, right?
Well, that's an excellent question.
Yeah, I think the Japanese manufacturers started building plants like the Cambridge plant for Toyota, I think is 25, 30 years now. But Puebla's been there a long time.
Puebla has been there as of January. It'll mark 52 years of production.
Yeah, so that's long before any other import manufacturer was building cars in NAFTA. You were doing it. There were Beetles back in the day, right?
Exactly. It's nothing new for them. And if you look at the entire Volkswagen world, we have over 120 manufacturing facilities worldwide. The second largest in the world, second only to our plant in Wolfsburg, Germany, is Puebla. We've put billions of dollars into this factory. It's an investment for us that we know will pay dividends, because we've really sweat the details at this plant. We want this to be a benchmark, just like our plant in Chattanooga is for the Passat and the upcoming larger SUV. We know that if we're going to see significant growth in North America, it has to be on the back of quality. So that was really job one with our investment in Puebla in the last 2 years.
All right, so let's go through. The good news is that you don't have to buy the $35,000 Alltrack in order to get all-wheel drive, because when you compare a premium sort of CR-V or RAV4 or a Mazda CX-5 against that car, it's probably comparable. But that's at the top end. People often try to shop under the $30,000 mark. And so what's your answer to that?
Well, for those people, we've got a solution as well, because what we've done is we've made 4Motion all-wheel drive available throughout the lineup. The normal sport wagon is available in 3 trims. Your trend line, which is your entry to the product, your comfort line, a little bit higher up, a little bit more luxury, and then your
Highline.
Highline, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for that one, Zach. That's got pretty much everything. And the Alltrack, the $35,000 version that's competing with these sport utilities, that's got everything in it.
So it's the Highline, but with the cladding and everything.
Exactly. But there's a lot of people, like you say, that they just want the security of all-wheel drive. We've got 4 seasons in Canada, and a lot of people really feel they need the all-wheel drive. So what we did was we made 4Motion all-wheel drive a standalone option on the Trendline, a standalone option on the Comfort Line.
Oh, I thought you said Comfort Line and Highline. It was standard now.
It's standard on the Highline,
Oh, okay.
standard on the Alltrack, and available on the Trendline and the Comfort Line. The reason that it's available is we still think there are people out there who only want a front-wheel drive car. So we're going to make that available. So at the Trendline level, $26,000 gets you into an all-wheel drive Volkswagen SportWagen car that's been selling really well the last couple of years.
Now,
we think it'll do better.
The smart money is on the base model car because it comes very well equipped. Like run through it because it has all the stuff you kind of need.
Absolutely. Like pretty much everything that moves on the car is power. You know, obviously it's got the power windows, power locks, cruise control, all that great stuff. It's got a fantastic stereo with App Connect, which gives you seamless
Android
connectivity.
Auto,
Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, so you've got seamless introduction of your smartphone. Automatic transmission, they all have that's something I should mention, our 6-speed DSG.
Dual clutch.
The dual clutch transmission. For the all-wheel drive cars, we opted to go with our dual clutch, the same transmission that we put in our GTIs, and we figured it was a better fit for the all-wheel drive system.
Well, we drove it yesterday, and I got to tell you that, first of all, the 1.8-liter engine and the almost 200 pound-feet of torque is a real nice match to this car.
Yes, and it runs on regular fuel, too. So you've got the snappiness, you've got the power, you've got the torque, excellent fuel economy, regular fuel. It's a great package, and the fact that it's a relatively small displacement 4-cylinder means it's a little bit lighter, so that it really makes the handling very crisp. The all-wheel drive adds a little bit of weight. The smaller engine subtracts a little bit of weight. The net effect is a really nice driving car.
All right, good luck, Thomas. Alltrack arriving now. Good luck with it.
Thanks, Zach.